There is a tale the histories tell, a tale of love and loss, of a family sundered by Aegon's seat of swords. It's a tragedy worthy of a song or a story or two. Her father was king of that vast land, and his might was such that he held command over dragons, the most fearsome beasts of that grim world. For a while, they lived a pretty idyllic life, full of jests and jostling, but eventually tragedy struck. The stranger, who is god of death, came and took her mother, and so the Queen Aemma died, and he bore her into his realm of shadows. Then the king, Rhaenyra Targaryen, grief-stricken by the loss of his great love and his treacherous brother, did a thing that had never been done before. He elevated his daughter over all the lords of the land and had them swear oaths of fealty and obedience to her. Many were opposed to this, but the king remained unmoved. His daughter was the only remnant of his wife left in this world, and so great was the love that he had bore her that he refused to consider any word of fault brought against his daughter. While he lived, he was the greatest defender. But age is the great enemy of man. The king soon passed from this mortal coil, and the realm, even as his body lay rotting, treachery was afoot. The hand of the king and the Queen Alicent had made plots to usurp the throne in favor of her firstborn son, Aegon. For the throne to pass to a woman, such a thing would assail the laws of gods and men. Also they claimed. Many lords supported them, some who felt no compulsion to uphold oaths sworn by their dead fathers, others craven fools who were easily swayed, and others who held to the faith of the Seven and were beholden to Old Town, which was the central power of the High Towers. How much is honor worth? What is the price of a man's sworn oath? Some men will lay down their lives to keep their word, while others will turn court swifter than the wind blows. It is a strange thing about men, that we mock those who stand true, yet still value that trait and pretend to be bound by it. As it happens, not all the lords of the land turned against Rhaenyra. Some held true. The greatest of these was Lord Corlys Velaryon, the sea snake, who was lord of the tides and master of Driftmark. He was the foremost seaman of the age, having embarked upon 7 voyages that took him as far as the holy Isle of Leng and Ashai by the Shadow. The wealth he brought back from these endeavors elevated his house to prominence and won him great fame. He was a great man, a man of great ambition, always seeking further glory. Had things gone differently, he would have been king consort to his wife Rhaenyra Targaryen. Instead, his family had been blighted by war after war, both of his children dying before their time. He felt no true loyalty to the Queen Rhaenyra, but he served her for the sake of the bastard children for whom he had grown fond, and at the urgings of his wife, the queen who never was. The sea snake controlled the largest force at sea, and his support of Rhaenyra added number and morale to her. He was also a renowned warrior, having fought alongside her lord husband in the Stepstones. Of Daemon Targaryen, there is not much to be said. He had a strange way with men, inspiring loyalty in some while causing utter revulsion in others. His deeds are blacker than sin, his adventures wilder than the north. To be sure, he was a warrior born and bred. He carried Dark Sister, Viserys' own blade, and rode Caraxes, one of the most battle-hardened of the Targaryen dragons. The Rogue Prince brought a certain cunning and savagery to Rhaenyra's council. Lord Bartimos Celtigar, in keeping with tradition, stood with Rhaenyra. That house has always been close with both the Velaryons and the Targaryens, for these 3 are the last of the Valyrian noble families. Other Minor lords were also in attendance, among them Lord Ganther Darklin of Duskendale, Lord Bar Aemon of Sharp Point, Lord Staunton of Rook's Rest, and Lord Gormon Macy of Stondance. Grandmaster Gerardis was also at the council. He had served at Dragonstone, serving both Rhaenyra and her ancestors. Strange, eh? How these maesters seem to serve their lords with loyalty, regardless whether this counts as treachery. Perhaps they trained to it at the citadel, mindless obedience. Or perhaps they come by it honestly. One cannot educate the children of one's lords and then so easily betray them. This, then, was how it began. A council of the Blacks held in the bowels of Dragonstone, in the room of Aegon's infamous painted table. Rhaenyra had just suffered a miscarriage. Daemon was mourning his brother's death, and all the lords present knew that to some they would be known as traitors. If Aegon won, they would each be killed, but if they were the victors, they would be rewarded. That is the strange thing about war. It sets fortunes spinning. Men rise and fall just as easily as they die. It sets forth like an apparition from the seven hells, devouring the land and setting it into chaos. And yet we still seek it. But all over the island fortress of the Targaryen family, the dragons felt the agitation of their riders, and they roared at the lonely moon. Ancient instincts, long buried and easily ignored, began to stir in them as they prepared for what was to come. It was time to dance. And we all know they enjoy a nice jig around the place.